Right, some players obviously stick in your mind. Frank Lampard, left-sided fullback. Peter Eustace, quite a good midfield player. Obviously, the great Bobby Moore, sensational player. And Jeff Hurst up front, World Cup colleague of Bobby's. But number 9, very interesting, Clyde Best, a big Bermudan who came across here and for a period of time, you know, terrorised defences. He was big, strong, and anyway, it'd be good to have a little look at him again here. Tough.
Bobby G, can you reflect on the Wolves lineup?
Yes, but in saying that West Ham team, there was 9 players came through the junior ranks in that team there.
Oh, right.
It was incredible, really. Phil Parks, known as Lofty, Bernard Shaw from Sheffield United, Squeak Parkin, Manny Bailey, great skipper. Frank Monroe, very talented centre-half, always came out and played. John McCall, Duggan, Jimmy McCalliog, who went on to great things for Southampton. Kenny Hibbert, now down at Cardiff. Myself, Shuey Cudden, who actually played for Manchester United. Yeah. And Dave Wagstaff, a great crosser of the ball.
Yeah. And the boss, Bill McGarry.
I still call him the boss today, Vicky. He frightened me so much. Whenever I saw him in modern day company, I say, good morning, boss.
Right in the top. And a sign that Wolves are building for the, or rather that West Ham are building for the future. 2 young homegrown players in this side today. At number 2, John McDowell, just 19, and at number 7, Johnny Ayres, only 17. Now it's Wolves with their skipper, Mike Bailey. Now here is McDowell. And Ayres making a break down the right for him. A deep one towards the far side, and Phil Parks for Wolves. West Ham's throw, Shaw running that ball into touch, and Bobby Moore just recovered from a hairline fracture of his big toe. Pass fit an hour or so before this game. Peter Eustace, number 4. Here's Bobby Moore. And Hurst and Monroe having a bit of a barging contest there, but it's in fact a corner for West Ham. Jeff Hurst here. I always feel that Hurst is so much a better player when the going gets a little softer. Here's Bobby Howe with the corner. And Best right in under that crossbar. Ayres with a header! And West Ham very close indeed. Ayres perhaps nodding his head a little bit in annoyance there that he didn't make a little more of it. Best trying to get in on it. Eustace and Ayres in a little bit of a misunderstanding, but now it's John Ayres. Got a little bit of control by Ayres. Being forced out all the while, but keeping control and possession, and now Moore. Eustace down for Howe, had a good shot there, and Parks down very quickly. It looked as though it might for a moment sneak under his body. Good work by Eustace and a good shot by Howe. Moore. And now Bernard Shaw. Out to McCalliog. And now the number 11 Wagstaff, and they've allowed him to go a long way. Grotier losing the ball. And now the number 10 across that goal from Hugh Curran. And the goal is given.
And it's McCalliog then, the scorer for the Wolves. After a really
well, Bobby, McCalliog eventually getting the goal after a slip up by the goalkeeper.
Well, he set it up from the other side. He changed the play and it came across to David Wagstaff, who's got a lovely left foot. And I think one of the best crosses of a ball from the dead ball line that I've ever seen.
And it's going to be young John McDowell, in of course for Billy Bonds, who is under suspension. And the referee with an arm aloft making clear that it's an indirect. And also wanting McCalliog to get back the full 10 yards. Parks reaching and losing it! Oh, and they couldn't just push it home. Hurst and Best were close there at that post, and it needed just the simplest prod. Eustace. Hurst. Taken quite easily from him though by McCallie. Hurst again, body and head. Ayres. Lindsay. Hurst. Ayres again. Lindsay. And Moore right up on the far side, and it'll come through to Bobby Moore. Trying to turn it in quickly. He'll get another go. Aim towards Hurst. This is a shot to Hurst against the post and back into the arms of Parks. Back to Parkin. Wagstaff. And Taylor. Still a heavy drizzle. And the pitch really beginning to cut up as Eustace now looks for Hurst once more. Hurst has got Monroe with him as he has the whole afternoon. Getting that one across, but only as far as Parkin. And West Ham's throw. Harris to Hurst. Looking for Best! Oh, Clyde Best! The equaliser!
But you said he struck terror in the hearts of defence, says
He's a dangerous player, Clyde Best. He was so big and strong and tough. I mean, really, you'd have to criticise the defenders here. Look at them, there's not one of them near him. And
some 6 or 7 yards outside it. 4 men in the Wolverhampton wall. Hibbett, Bailey, McCalliog and Gould. And on the far side, it was McDowell trying might and main to get in there on it. And the referee, in fact, had awarded a goal kick. And at least was big enough then to change his mind when he saw that the crowd, or heard that the crowd was howling. And noticed that the referee, the linesman, in fact, on the far side, was indicating a corner. Parks trying to capitalise on it by putting it down for a goal kick, but it is a corner to West Ham. And it's going to be young John McDowell with it. And Howe going in. Oh, against the post again. And that was terrible mark in there in that Wolves defence, allowing Bobby Howe here to go in on it and have a completely free header. So again, West Ham have hit that post. Having, I think, twice hit the woodwork in the first half. Howe with the corner again. Hurst making a run, Eustace also making a run. Bobby Moore trying to turn it back. Oh, a goal! Through the arms of Parks. Bobby Moore! Oh, he's angry.
Well, I think Bobby Moore would have been surprised at the goal actually going through that time.
Well, if you see his reactions there, it's a great shape for a volley of any youngster to watch out. Just look at the shape, you know. Gets a great volley onto the ball, and we're able to see it in slow motion. I'm sure Lofty Parks, that's his nickname, he will dread seeing that, Dickie. He really, really will.
He will, won't he?
And, but look how it comes back to him so quickly, but a goal that Phil Parks won't relish seeing again.
But when you think of, we talk so much about him actually coming up occasionally from defence.
yeah, I was quite surprised that he had a go, and when it was coming out I thought, oh, Bobby Moore is not one for sort of knocking long shots in, but he hit it beautifully on the volley. And of course it was like a bar of soap, wouldn't it, for the goalkeeper? He just, I mean, I would imagine that Parks now will be worried to death every time the ball comes near him.
And Bobby, I mean, you're a great admirer of Bobby Moore, weren't you?
Oh yeah, I spent a lifetime trying to kick him as an opposition forward, you know. Could never hassle him or put him under pressure. He was so
in control.
in control of it, every movement. It was
Yeah, I think you
incredible.
said he was one of the neatest players you ever saw.
Tidiest players I've ever seen. He never seemed to be flustered, never got caught.
Just look at
his
him now.
His play was always tidy.
And he always found a position for himself, space for himself.
And Best!
Oh, Best again, you see.
Clyde Best!
What about Route 1 football there, Mr. Charlton?
In the air.
Route 1 football from West Ham there. Free kick. This is Wimbledon, isn't it? There's Jeff Hurst raising up above Frank Monroe. No, it's John McCall.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Clyde Best anticipating.
Under pressure.
And they're on about the academy, Dickie, playing wonderful football, and they go Route 1.
Well, sometimes it works.
If you got the right players, two big lads, Jeff Hurst and Clyde Best, I would be sending balls up to them in the air.
Yeah, but the fact is that you're now 3-1 down.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the side was renowned for a fighting spirit, and not only that, Dickie, we were on a good run at this time of the season.
Were.
We were on a fantastic run, and the inner belief from the players stems from believing that you're never going to be beaten. And I think this game will epitomise that.
We won't give the result away.
No, as it goes on.
Okay.
And the linesman saying, no, that's got to be inside that quadrant, which is a new FIFA ruling this season. You may remember the controversy we had on the big match last season about it. Well, they've ruled it must be inside that corner quadrant now. There's the corner, and Grotier fisting it away, but it's another corner. Inside the quadrant at the other side. Gould busy himself again in that West Ham 6-yard area. And Bobby Moore straight into the referee. Knocked out the referee.
Bobby, no, you mustn't laugh. It's not fair to laugh.
It's completely knocked out.
Bobby Moore picked the whistle up and blew the whistle to bring the trainer on.
I didn't see that.
He did. Sensational.
But it was he headed the ball at the referee, not at him. But I mean,
the shock.
the shot. Yes, exactly.
Him, yeah.
Interesting there, the physiotherapist, a lad called Rob Jenkins, who used to hate flying anywhere, Dickie, when I went there. And Frank Lampard used to have to get in a vice net to get him up on the aeroplane. That's Rob there, the physio. The crowd are lovely and passive though, and look, it's a young Frank Lampard there on the left hand of the screen.
Well, that's amazing. Is he all right? Is he going to continue? Yes, he's fine. Look at that.
He could have saved his life there, Bobby Moore, couldn't he, really?
Just by blowing that whistle.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, maybe it's swallowed his tongue, which happens these days, and if there's nobody there to actually act immediately, yeah. True. That's fantastic.
What they used to do in the days there, though, Bob, was if the referee got injured, they used to ask the supporters if there was a linesman
and the
referee who'd passed the rules.
Yeah. And you and I remember that happened with Jimmy Hill coming on
Correct.
at that point. Right.
Correct.
And a run there by Wagstaff. Wagstaff again, trying to beat McDowell, and McDowell snapping away at him, getting his foot in there just enough, and now steering up that right, taking the pass from Aris. Eustace. Hurst. And Aris again. Trying to take on Shaw, but now it's Lindsay, with Best and Howe in the middle. Aris. They wants a cross now. And Parks getting there. A big man bundling over Howe. Moore in very quickly on the substitute Richardson. Moore difficult to shake off, but Richards has done a good job there. Well, Wolves now have something like 7 or 8 minutes to repair the damage of 3-1 down. Here's Bobby Gould to Richards. On for Parkin. And now Hibbett. And Bailey. And Gould. Will Bailey, will they by sledgehammer methods get in there? Now, oh, a fine goal by McCalliog. Oh, what a fine goal. Jim McCalliog second.
So, Bobby, the fight back has started, yes?
Yes, Dickie, but if you look at the gold shirts in there, there's actually 3, 4, 5, 6 in the box, and Jimmy McCalliog coming up from late. And it's a great shot there, and I think Peter Grotier is definitely unsighted there. But it's the amount of people we put in the box, Dickie, that has presented problems for West Ham at that period in the game.
But he clearly wants more effort now from Wolves. Away goes Howe. Lindsay right up with him. Hurst on the far side, screaming for it. And Eustace. Wolves to bring it away. Eustace needing to get back quickly. McCallie. And Grotier with the ball not bouncing an inch. Bobby Gould, who a lot will depend on him in the last few minutes now if Wolves are to get this equaliser. Now it's Richards. Gould as active as ever, but it's Richards. Everything opening up for Richards. And City goes on. Oh, against the crossbar from Curran. With West Ham absolutely wide open, and that should have been the equaliser. A brilliant run by Richards, though. And Curran will be kicking himself for not making sure. That really should have been a goal. But of course, a lot of other London supporters will be hoping that West Ham can hang on, if only to diminish the threat that Wolves have on teams like Arsenal and Spurs. 5 minutes to go. And West Ham 3-2 ahead. Not a good kick by Grotier. Curran to Wagstaff. Wolves sensing that this match is by no means lost. Wagstaff turning it in again, and Eustace charged in the back by McCalliog. Eustace really has played well for West Ham this afternoon. Anxious whistles from the West Ham crowd, but there's still some time to go yet as Pivot. A long one forward that looks for Curran, and a barge in the back surely on Curran by Lampard, giving Wolves the free kick. And Bobby Howe making sure it's taken from the right place, and the referee... In fact, it was Bobby Howe who did it and not Bobby Moore. He had a word with Bobby Moore, but here is the free kick for Wolves, taken by Bailey. A deep one to the far side. Oh, against the post, and Gould! He's put it in there for the equaliser. A tremendous comeback by Wolves, and 3-3.
I feel a cliche coming on. Come at the moment, come at the man.
It's that predatory instinct, isn't it? You know, anticipation.
You happened to be there, did you, Bobby?
Yeah, just happened to be there at the right time. These are the type of goals that any forward loves. Relishes those. 6-inch drives. 25 of them a season now, you'd get 20 grand a week.
Well, I tell you one thing, you've now 3-3, so, I mean, you've saved the game. But you were looking, and we were talking about the crowd there, the angry whistles of the West Ham crowd, but I didn't think you whistled wearing a coat with a tie and collar and tie.
Yeah, they're very passive though, even now, aren't they?
Yes.
They really are. But
Very smart crowd, one of the smartest crowds I've seen that.
Yes.
I think they're all solicitors and accountants. Oh, no, there's lots of shirts and ties there, wasn't there?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, God, it was there.
The merchandising's not the same, wasn't the same then as it is now.
No, definitely not.
No.
But I don't think many of the youngsters would see the muddy pitches now, would they?
No. And yet, you know, a muddy pitch at Upton Park, and they always tried to play football, didn't they, West Ham?
And a corner to West Ham.
It's been such an open game though, Dickie, hasn't it, really? Really has.
Not more than just a few seconds left. In fact, there won't be time to take it. And Wolves have got a point when a point seemed impossible for them with that marvellous recovery. Bobby Gould, having number 9, having got that last equaliser for Wolverhampton Wanderers.